Hi, this is Dolores O'Riordan and this is the current question. What's kind of interesting about Father's Day is that generally speaking, you know, it's like the mommy goes out and buys the card and everybody signs it then to the pappy, you know. So that's kind of cute, you know. It's really nice when, you know, my kids all want to go for the cards, but now actually as they're getting bigger, they usually make cards in school, and those are really cute when they bring home the cards, and it certainly brings back memories of when I was a little one and we used to make cards for our parents. So in a way you kind of go through it all again when you have kids. Yeah, so I'd like to say happy Father's Day from me and Current TV. Well, Are You Listening title, I like it a lot because it's not predictable. I suppose, you know, having had all that success that I had with the Cranberries, it would have been kind of predictable for me to come out with an album title like Debut or, you know, I Am Back or something like that. But I like Are You Listening because it's kind of subtle and unassuming. Also, it makes the listener think a little bit, and it can be read or perceived in many different ways. I think when people listen to music, everybody listens to it in a different way. I listen to the lyrics and they're so important to me, but like my husband is a real guitar rock head, and I often say, what's that song about? But he'll be listening to the guitar. So it depends on what you get off on and what you're into in music. Everybody listens differently, so. The Click movie came about, I suppose, my baby was 6 months old. I recall I was at home with her and I hadn't stepped away from the family for a long time, so it was the first time that I went away from my family, and to me I saw it as an opportunity. I really couldn't pass on. I've always admired Adam Sandler and his work and his characters that he creates in his movies, so I thought I definitely had to do it. Basically he sent me a script anyway and I read it, and I loved how he kind of positioned the song into the movie. And I also kind of found it quite funny, the whole idea of being a wedding singer, because when I was a kid I used to actually sing at weddings to make some cash, ching ching, you know. And first time I seen Adam Sandler ever in a movie, he was a wedding singer, so I thought, yeah, I have to do this, it'll be a blast. So flew over here and spent 10 days in the Sony lot, and it was a good laugh to see like what happens behind the scenes on movie sets. You know, it's totally different to rock and roll, but it was a blast and I'm glad I did it now. Well, the environmental awareness issue has become much bigger in my life, being that, you know, my husband is Canadian and Canadians are really environmentally aware, and it's really kind of, that awareness has come into Ireland an awful lot now. So we all recycle in our house and we all kind of pay extra care and attention to recycle as much as we possibly can. I went to the Vatican, I suppose, for the first time about 5 years ago, and I met Il Papa John Paul II. It was pretty amazing to meet that guy. He was quite old at the time, and he came in, he was wheeled in because he couldn't walk at the time. We were in a very small room. It was the audience with the Pope, and it was absolutely gorgeous to meet him. I did perform, but he wasn't actually at the gig, but we did meet him before the performance. I must say though, that gig was quite a tough gig because the whole front row was bishops. So it was like, that was kind of like, you don't want to make a mistake there. So anyway, I didn't make any mistakes, it was okay. Yeah, I recall doing a show in Modena in the 90s, and it was Pavarotti and Friends. I believe I was the only female singer there, the rest of them were guys. I remember Simon Le Bon was there and U2 were there, Pavarotti, Zucchero, Meatloaf, all these individuals. And when I went on the stage to sing the Ave Maria, Lady Diana was in the front row, and apparently she had a few tears. Later on I met her, we had a kind of a dinner, it was almost like a wedding dinner afterwards, it was a blast. And at the head table, Pav was sitting with Diana, and I went up and I got to talk to her for about a half an hour. We sat down and we had a glass of vino together, and a good old girly, and she was a beautiful person, really, really down to earth, and you know, she was very cool, and I'm really glad that I got to meet her. Well, I suppose one of the reasons I went solo is because I spent 15 years in the Cranberries, and we'd done 5 albums and a greatest hits in that period. And I think it came to a time in my life where I wanted to get away from it all, the whole entertainment industry and the music industry. And I wanted to spend time with my family for a lot of different reasons. And in that time, I really kind of discovered what it was like to be really anonymous and to just be a human spirit, where I woke up every day and all I had to worry about was like cooking and taking my kids to school. I went to school with them sometimes. You know, I really got to relax and enjoy life in a way I never actually did before, because I'd always been in contract, and you know, I always had to deliver a record, or I always had to go back to the band. So it was the first time I really got to totally chill out, and it was blast. So please visit me at the websites listed below, and thanks for being here with me on Current TV.